welcome to BCN News. Leading our news tonight, treatment for the 70 people tested positive for latent tuberculosis is expected to be rolled out next month by the Health Department and the World Health Organization. The treatment is to prevent those who have already got the bacteria in the system, which is currently inactive, from further developing into tuberculosis. 622 people have been screened, where 70 tested positive for latent tuberculosis, while 2 cases have been confirmed for TB. The 70 will be contacted by the Health Department to receive their treatment.
The treatment in April is focusing on the 70 cases who have already tested positive for Mantle, and the program is they take 1 tablet a week for 12 weeks. Yep, as opposed to the normal treatment program that other people are undergoing at the moment. We have to take medications for up to 6 to 9 months. So we had put in a request that we can do the 12 weeks to ensure that everybody are compliant and that they do take the medications.
People who have not been screened yet are being encouraged to do so. Awareness on tuberculosis is being carried out by health officials throughout this week. The court injunction requirements for the water bottling have been met. A statement from the Office of the Premier says they expect to start export soon, and this is a potentially huge revenue earner for Niue. It says those who have made fun of government's efforts to bottle and export have no idea about the damage they are doing, or they do but don't care, which is worse. Honorable Terry Koh had taken state-owned entity Viafarm to Niue's High Court over its license to export Niue's water. Last year, government also called for submissions on the project. Viafarm was registered in 2015 and plans to export water to New Zealand and North America. Government will not do the country code top-level domain .nu deal. The Premier states the Swedish court has accepted Niue's case and will hear argument soon. In November last year, Niue filed a lawsuit against the Swedish Internet Foundation in the Stockholm District Court. A lawyer for Niue's government estimated it has lost around $20 million in income since 2013, when the company began administering the domain. Niue, which has never had control of its country code top-level domain .nu, had sought to take it back and the lost income. A total of 3,178 visitors arrived in Niue during the period from October to December last year. The total visitors were 2,600. Of these, 948 were Niueans, while 1,652 were non-Niueans. According to Niue statistics, the average total tourist earning was $2,251.80. Majority came from non-Niuean visitors, with $1,715.50, while $536.30 came from Niuean visitors. A total of 3,317 people departed the country during this period. A summary of Niue's tourism performance over the last year and Niue's great prospects and high-level goals have been highlighted in the Niue Tourism Forum. Niue Tourism Chief Executive Officer Felicity Boland summarized the top highlights for Niue's tourism over the last year, being Trevor the Duck, a standout star with additional excellent exposure via the Ukulele and Kai Niue festivals, and new assets, the Taonga Building and the Swanson Supermarket. In a packed crowd last night, 6 presentations were delivered by Niue Tourism Chief Executive Officer Felicity Boland, Niue's Chamber of Commerce Business Development Manager Ray Finlay, New Zealand Tourism Research Institute's Carolyn Dosha, Alistair Henchman from TRC, and now considered locals to Niue, Jandy and Ryan Somerville from Dark Sky. Each representative spoke of findings from more recent research conducted here in Niue, with potential prospects and high-level goals to developing further Niue's tourism. Alistair Henchman, for one, highlighted that a third flight into Niue would not be feasible. Jandy and Richard Ryan Somerville were excited to announce once again the prospect of Niue becoming the first dark sky sanctuary country in the world, with astro tours increasing globally. How locals or the community perceive tourism is just as important as how visitors perceive tourism. Carolyn Dosha, who spoke at the Tourism Forum last night, explained how Niue is really leading in trying to gather as much insight as a baseline to developing Niue's tourism, not only from the visitor experience but from the locals' experience.
We see Niue as really leading the field here because For that data initiative, we have 3 pillars. One is an international visitor survey. Another one is a business confidence index, understanding the importance of tourism to businesses and how they feel about it. But the other really important component is a community attitudes survey, and that is where we get the full picture. That is where we lead to sustainable development of the industry. Niue is one of 2 Pacific Island nations at the moment that are willing to go ahead or are looking at that at the moment, saying, no, you're quite right, we want a community survey, we want to know how the community are going. That's an important baseline indicator for us.
The cultural experience is fundamental to the visitor experience. One standout of the surveys over 2 years was the lack of cultural experiences, including the availability and accessibility of cultural artifacts or handicrafts for purchase. With the previous Niue Tourism Forum, it was identified that certainly with concerted efforts, there was substantial potential in this sector for growth. This is accompanied by the stories Carol Lynn believes is imperative for Niue's tourism.
Our international visitors showed a really high level of satisfaction with their visit. However, there were some improvements that could be made, or some areas that they felt could be strengthened for them. We know that the visitor to Niue is highly educated, high income, and is perhaps an older age group. And so that is the sort of visitor that we want to bring. However, it is important that we know what is available for them to do. So that desire for cultural arts and heritage experiences, and also they said they weren't quite as satisfied with shopping. They don't want flashy arcades, but by goodness, they would love to buy some local handcrafts and hear the stories behind them.
And finally, Niue's hospitality sector got to hear firsthand from a renowned master chef today. Chef Ray McVinney highlighted key success points in a masterclass held at the Scenic Matavai Resort this morning. Ray McVinney is currently in high demand as a consultant to restaurants in New Zealand. And with his experience, it comes as no surprise. Master Chef Ray McVinney is a food writer and advisor for Cuisine magazine, celebrity judge on MasterChef New Zealand, food columnist in the Sunday Star Times, Sunday Magazine and Bite Magazine. This morning, 12 local representatives from the hospitality sector had the opportunity to learn from the Master Chef's experiences and ask him questions. He conveyed he'd happily tell the participants everything he knows.
It's twofold. One was to deliver 2 workshops about running a successful hospitality business, especially for me from the chef's point of view. So I was kind of interested in kitchen to table sort of idea. So yeah, 2 2-hour workshops on that subject. Anything that's in my head, I just tell people everything I know.
One success point he explained was that of experience and how it could attract more customers to one's business. The Success in Hospitality workshop has been organized by Niue's Chamber of Commerce in collaboration with Scenic Matavai Resort, designed from a chef's perspective covering concept, menu design, costings, training, kitchen systems and marketing. The next workshop will be held this Thursday. And that's all we have for you tonight. Thank you for joining us. Good night.